Hello, good people of YouTube, Lucky Me is 205 over here, and this time we're gonna review Ironblood Submarine U-31. And this is, while this video is recorded, Type 7A variation. This far, and her history is very interesting, I have to admit. German submarine, I'm gonna read this from the Wikipedia on quote. I'm gonna quote it here. U-31, 1936. German submarine 1931 was a Type 7A U-boat of German Kriegsmarine during World War II. She was laid down on 1st March 1936 as yard number 912, launched on 25th September and commissioned on 28 December 1936. Design: as one of the first 10 German Type 7 submarines later designed as Type 7A submarines. Well, I'm gonna skip this lengthy technical information over here, but she had her 4 torpedo tubes on the bow and 1 at the stern, 11 torpedoes and one 8.8 cm SKC 35 naval gun, some reason 220 rounds. Now, as for her war career, let's go with the she was commissioned 28 December 1936, and she was recommissioned 30 July 1940 and decommissioned on 24 March 1940, and her fate: sunk 11 March 1940, raised, sunk again 2nd November 1940. She had 7 war patrols, and the first sinking on 11 March 1940. U-31 was sunk on Schillig Roads near Boyu 12 by 4 bombs from Bristol Blenheim 82 Squadron RAF with the loss of 58 lives. The U-boat had been on trials and carried 11 workers from the shipyard and 2 assistants to the flotilla engineers in addition to her regular complement. The U-boat was raised later that month, repaired and returned to service on 30 July 1940 with Captain Lieutenant Brelberg in command, and her second sinking, U-31, was sunk again on 2nd November 1940 northwest of Ireland by depth charges from the British destroyer HMS Antelope, which picked up 44 survivors, or 43, sources vary, from the crew of 46. In U-31's entire career, she sunk 11 merchant ships and 2 auxiliary warships. A mine laid by U-31 damaged the British battleship HMS Nelson. Ooh, okay, that I didn't know. Well, she managed to make some damage to Nelson, it seems. But if you get sunk twice, in your war career, but in the first sunk you are going to be picked up, repaired and put to the use again. And it is after the second sunk everyone's just like, yeah, this ship is finished. Yes, he's done for. Okay. Well, interesting history of the 9 of the 31. And there is the interestingly U-33 picture available on the Wikipedia, which is Type 7A boat. Now then, how is she in the game? Well, she's the only 7A this far while this video is made. But who knows, perhaps we will get some more in the future. Even given by her rigging design alone, this is way different compared to the original shark designs we are so used in the Ironblood submarines. As usual, we're gonna focus on HP, torpedo, oxygen and active range. Her HP, if you go with the spade stats alone, level 125, 1193. Just a couple of really hard hitting HE shells, she can get sunk really fast. As for her torpedoes, 115. Well, U-31, where was the 31? Here we go. Let's just say in a space stats, she is 1 point above the Albacore Micro version, which has 514, and the U-522 has 511. So, well, god damn it. So like, yeah, she is slightly higher, but with the 500 torpedo stats, well, 515, she can still do something out of it. And the one above her is the Surkov and the I-25, which has Surkov has, well, of course, Surkov has 515, but the 25 has 520 torpedo stats in a base alone. As for her oxygen, it is 188, meaning it is closely to the just below 19 seconds. If you want to keep her alive, improved snorkel is recommended. As for her submarine range, hunting range, it's not bad. Very simple design. You can either use her as a flagship if you want, that is optional. Just taking into log her hunting range shape. In this case, I gave her very basic Ironblood torpedoes. Her torpedo stats 125% efficiency and 120% efficiency. Her secondary gun, well, it can do something, but unfortunately it's just for decorations for now. There's an Alchemy module available, but not personal yet. with the kunais, you can give her torpedoes of 39 and hit probability of 6, and there is a crippling blow. When this ship's torpedoes hit an enemy, 8% chance to decrease that enemy's damage dealt by 5% for 10 seconds. Well, this is optional. I just gave her this temporarily, but I highly recommend giving daggers because crit rate is way better, but that's just me. Now let's go with the skills, shall we? Oh, of course, her luck stats is 32. I guess that's based on her historical reference as well. Danger from below. Increases this boat's damage dealt to enemies with a floating ailment by 10%. 3 seconds after the battle starts, this boat moves a set distance forward and deploys 2 level 10 sea mines. Damage is based on the skill's level, then returns to her original position. Enemies that comes into contact with the sea mines are inflicted with the floating status, taking damage continuously over 18 seconds. Damage is based on the skill level. And this boat's torpedo stats, which is something I want to keep in mind. If the enemy is a battleship, and HMS Nelson mentioned, decreases that enemy's speed by 20% for 18 seconds. So if let's just say if the enemy battleship is pushing in, the sea mines can actually do the trick. But that is based on RNG and pure luck. Is the enemy battleship pushing or not? Now as for the very classic Wolfpack tactics. For each Iron Plus submarine in your fleet, increase this boat's torpedo, reload and accuracy by 6%, and then we have Type 7A All-Out Assault, which looks like very simple design, nothing much or very simple torpedo barrage. Nothing, not too big or not too small, just very normal. Now as for character design, I have to admit, because she's so different, I almost believed that this is not a submarine until it was told that she is a submarine. And she is way different, the freaking design, compared to her original. Reminds me of the sirens, you know, someone on the siren category. Because how this looks like. Even the jellyfish is very suspicious. And why she does have jellyfish, even I don't know why. But despite that, the artist did some very interesting character design, I have to admit. Even the basic pose is, I don't know, very accurate. Very well detailed from the head to toe and every corner of the rigging. And I have to admit, this weather design also, right now, I have to admit, is a very good, very well made. Now I don't know about her personality, but she seems to be some kind of protective way. Securities, is there all that jazz. She has one skin this far. Let's go home. Some type of small event. I don't now recall what was a school related. AI went haywire and something like that. I don't recall the details of that event, but anyway, I think that's all I can actually think of about 31. So I'm gonna now give a little thinking and give my final opinions about 31. Alright everyone, Lucky Mia's voiceover over here, and yes, U-31. She's a unique, I will say, one of the only submarines currently in the game while this video is made who actually drops sea mines. And the what else? Well, historically she got sunk twice. First one she was raised and repaired, and the second one was a complete fatal. And her overall design also, if you actually compare her to the rest of the Iron Plus submarines, she is way different. Completely different by design. Which I have to give some very good good feedback about this interesting choice the artist made. Not just all is about the sharks, they can also be very interesting designs. And honestly, I'm not even sure what is this design. And the well, jellyfish, was it? Medusa behind her? Well, anyway. It is also a very interesting choice. Now as for her personality, well, she can be childish. But other than that, let's focus on the combat performance. First off is her hunting range. Very simple cube with the extra notch over here and there to reach. And I don't know, very balanced, very usable, I will have to say. Now as for the Wolfpack tactic, well, there's nothing special about it, it's just there. Now, danger from below, I think I shall actually focus on that. Although it says increases this boat's damage dealt to enemies with a floating ailment by 10%. 3 seconds after the battle starts, this boat moves a set distance forward and deploys 2 level 10 sea mines. Damage is based on the skill's level. Well, won't you know it? I have no idea how high those damages are. And 2? Why 2 is the question. And I'm slightly curious about the sea mine idea. Well, I have some memory with the Germans practicing that their U-boats have the sea mines along with them. But not many were able to actually put those sea mines into action. All I know is some submarines only had torpedoes and a deck gun and few anti-air guns, and that's it. But according to the information about the Wikipedia, the U-31 is, well, let's just say type 7A design. According to this, had the not just the torpedo tubes and 11 torpedoes, but there is or word, and it says or 22 TMA mines. And I'm rather curious about the idea to have more this type of submarines. But instead of 2, can we increase that to 5? Look, I know it sounds crazy, but come on. If you have only 2 of them, let's just say let's just say that you only add 2 mines per battle. Yes. Well, your range is very limited. Let's put a change to that. Let's give this submarine a pressure-resistant hull design auxiliary. It doesn't just increase torpedo by 35%, it also increases HP by 100 points. And there's a skills improved hull design. Increases submarine speed by 20% and moves it forward another 8 units after it enters battle. And with this very nice auxiliary, you can actually not just deploy sea mines behind, well, let's just say your side of the white line, where your vanguard cannot, let's just say, go through. But if we can actually put submarine behind the line and deploy sea mines over there, they can be actually way more useful than behind the lines. Am I right? And only 2 of them? Well, it's a little bit long shot, but does it actually work? But if you are adding them like 1 up and 1 down and not sideways, there's a high probability that the enemy ship will miss that. And if a Nelson can accidentally get hit by a sea mine, I have no idea, is this like a magnetic mine that actually just, when it ejects the enemy ship nearby, it gets pulled into it and then explodes. Just imagine how effective they could be if the enemy units gets enough close to these magnetic mines. They draw into them and just explode, and actually makes this skill way more useful. But if you have only 2 of them, well, it is actually very limited. But if you can actually add 5 of them, there is probably going to be a really big punch. And don't worry about its balances, because it's probably off at this point. Level 10 sea mines. And of course, there's a very nice enemies that come into contact with the sea mines are inflicted with the flooding status, taking damage continuously over 18 seconds. And damage is based on the skills level, and this bodes torpedo stat. Now that is a very interesting combination if you actually have decently high torpedo stat with the very good auxiliaries available, if you can find them, and equip them. Of course, Upman module do. She can actually pack a punch. Now, the problem right now is, do you want to have her above or below the submarine flagship? I would personally try to recommend putting her into the flagship spot, because I found out that most of the enemies, especially humanoid versions, tend to spin around in the middle of the field, not up or down. Well, but that's based on a personal experience. So sea mines are rather more useful in the flagship spot, and putting them way better use over there. And with the iron plots pressure resistant hull design, So you can actually go just under the enemy line, enemy ships, deploy the sea mines, and watch the fire show. Now, although her luck stat is very low and her oxygen level is also very low, you have to plan very carefully where you want to put this submarine. She's a fragile, but it could be effective if you play her right. But that's all I actually think about the U-31. What is your opinions about this interesting submarine that can actually lay sea mines on the battlefield? And what are your opinions about having more of these type of submarines, but way more improved versions with the sea mines capabilities? My name is LuckyMias205. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, hit the bell icons and get future notifications as well. Now, please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.
私がお前のために戦果をくれてやるって。